Okay, so let's add further texture and appearance onto our created plane here. So I will just do another space bar, and this time I will try adding an ambient occlusion, HB. So this one, ambient occlusion. So as you can see here, it is saying reads map height, so that means it can read this black and white, this pearly noise that we are currently using as a height. So I can click that and drag it here. The next is I will once more select the base material so that we can connect here. So what I will do is I will just go down here, and then I will just turn on, this time, ambient occlusion. Click that. So the ambient occlusion is ready. I will now try to connect. If it is not connecting like that, I will just press 3 and 1 here in our base material. Now let's try it again, and there it is. Or I'll just drag it here. I can drag it reverse, connect it, and there it is. As you can see, what the ambient occlusion is doing, it is providing that contouring shadows for our normal or height affected base material. So as you can see, as it is being distorted, if I will now adjust the height depth here, see, it becomes more obvious. Increasing it, see, so that is the effect. I can right click and drag, and as you can see, that's the effect. If I will be reducing it, see, the effect gets less. So I'll just increase that little. Let's say 0.65. That's fine. Okay, so next is these are going, as you can see, it has become, or it has been formed up with big shapes, right? That is because of this scale being reduced or being turned into larger clumps coming from the Perlin noise. So the next thing that I will do is I will add some more noise on top of that surface. So what I will do is I can go here on the spacebar, and then let's try adding clouds. Clouds are also different types of noises. So for example, if I will choose cloud number 1, here it is, and then I will choose spacebar cloud number 3, there. So what we will do, we can mix these two clouds together, and then after we mix them, we will blend them on top of our surface here. So now to mix these two, we will use a blend mode. Now I'll just go to my spacebar, type in blend. So as you can see here, there's your blend node, and it is asking for 2 other nodes. So I'll use this as the foreground, and then I'll use this as a background. So there, how do we now mix these two together? And you can mix them by opacity here. You can drag it slowly, and as you can see, the opacity is changing. So let's say 0.5. That's one way of blending them together. I'll just increase that, put it back to 1. So that means I'm seeing only cloud 1. Next, I'll change it by blending mode. For example, if I set it to multiply, so there. Now we have those two getting mixed in a blend mode. Sorry, in a blend mode procedure. I can still adjust some opacity for further variation of the mix. Next is I will now mix them with our existing Perlin noise. I can just to organize, I'll just push this back a bit, and then I will just use another spacebar, type in blend. So the blend node comes here. So what I'll do next is, let me drag this, you can see clearly. So what I'll do is I'll just repeat the step. This new blend that is resulting, the blending of the two clouds, I'll just drag that and set that as the foreground. And then I will select this Berlin noise and then connect it here so that it mixes with them. And then once more, either I mix it with this opacity adjustment, or I can just use another multiply, or I can do a subtract. It depends on whichever you will prefer. For example, if I go for a subtract and I adjust multiply, that could be the result. Then I will apply it on to our object by doing this. So now let's hold shift, holding shift, and then I will press this, okay, and then I will drag it going here at the front, and then I will release the mouse. So now this means, as you can see, as the effect is showing, the Berlin noise is blending with this two clouds, and then it is now also being the source of the following normals and ambient occlusion, which is now having this effect. So if I select here in this blend node, I can adjust the opacity to lessen, for example, the effect. If you don't want it that much rough, I can also hold shift control and drag so that I can see how the light is going to be reacting. I can also select this portion, this blend level, and also adjust the opacity so that it takes also a different effect onto my object. There. So you can have multiple controls in adjusting your effect. So the next thing is, let's organize a bit. I'll just select this, drag. So let's say I want to further add some more texture onto this. So that means you will just repeat the steps that we have done earlier. It's either I'll add a new level of detail on this current surface. For example, I would like to add a new level, for example, dirt. I can literally type in dirt in this search. So there are different types of dirt here. For example, if I choose dirt on this, see? So what I will do next is I can just again create or add another blend node there. Oops, it automatically connects. Usually that happens when you have a node selected, space bar, and then you type in blend or click blend. It will connect to that active node. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure nothing is selected because I want to be the one to connect the blends. So space bar, blend there, and then I will set this. For example, let me check. Yeah, this can do. I will set this as the foreground, and then let's say I am going to set this as the background. So now they will be blending together, and in the blending together, or in their blend node, I can adjust this there so that it would not be too harsh or too rough. Let's say a little presence of the dirt is needed, let's say around 0.35, and then with that I can select this, and then I can even increase the size, or sorry, I can increase the disorder or movement of it, for example that. And then what I'll do is I can space bar, I can try adding levels, and then instead of going directly there, I can delete this connection and then blend it first, or sorry, make it adjust it with the levels first. So for example, this result, I want a bit like that there, and then I'll just drag it back here, and then on the blend itself, okay, so that's going to appear. And then here, for us to be able to see it, we must connect it always onto the last node. Okay, so what we will do here is I'll just select this, drag back, and then after that I will just hold shift, select this, and then drag it back to the front there. So now that blend is still there, blending with this new set of dirt node. And then now this blend mode, where those two are also mixing up, is now present here. So as you can see, the effect of what we have done is very much harsh still. So what I can do is I can lessen the opacity of that, so that it wouldn't be that much. See, I think this will be fine with me. That amount, right? That amount of pebbles will be fine. So that's how we add further surfaces or further details onto the surfaces. Okay, so I'll see you on the next lesson.